Hey there everybody, welcome to Auto Bears, and this is the new BMW X6M Competition. This should be a lot of fun. Right, now I apologise in advance for the scruffy attire. I've been invited to a BMW Media Day where I've got the opportunity to drive this glorious beast, but also the new 4 Series Coupe. And if you want to watch my first drive review of that new car, click up in the top right hand corner. I think it's up there somewhere. But whilst this car was on show, I thought, why not? I might as well take it for a little drive. I mean, it's got a twin-turbocharged 4.4 litre V8 producing 626 brake horsepower, 552 pounds-feet of torque, and will get from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. I mean, that all just sounds really pedestrian, doesn't it? But this is one of those very unique cars. Now, I'll be absolutely honest, I'm not a big fan of these big SUV kind of coupe cars. I kind of wonder what's the purpose of them. However, yes, the inner child in me just went, well, it's got a twin turbocharged V8, so I'm gonna love it, and I think I will. Now, as you can see, it's got the massive body kit on here. It is incredibly aggressive in its styling, and we've got the quad exhaust at the back of the car as well, which let you know that it is a proper M car. I mean, it just screams performance. We've got carbon fibre on the wing mirrors. We've just got this lovely black effect to the grille as well. Now, this isn't the illuminated grille, which is something you can get on the X6M, but you know what? It just looks absolutely stunning. It has got a huge amount of presence about it. I mean, cars in front of me just part like the Red Sea when I just took this out of the compound and straight onto the main road. It's got that much presence and aggression about it. So I'm not gonna lie, although I said I don't really like these type of cars, I am liking this car, and I haven't really got too much time with it, so I think it's a case now of looking at it for a couple of moments, listening to me waffle on, or taking it for a drive. Okay, you want me to take it for a drive? All right then, let's go for it. So before we set off, the cockpit, I mean, it's a very familiar BMW cockpit. We've got the digital display, the huge infotainment system, which is controlled by the iDrive. Everything in terms of quality feels wonderful. It feels really well screwed together. There is loads of leather on the dashboard, on the doors. We've got this kind of metal effect here on the center part of the dash. It looks quite nice, although I'd be quite chintzy and go for carbon fibre, but that's just me. However, I haven't got the price tag for this car, but it just looks really nice. There's a lot of familiarity with other BMWs, but that's, you know, that's the kind of nice thing. You can go from one BMW to the other and you can feel at home. Now, the gesture control is just responding to my hand being up in the air, so I do apologise for that if you hear any noises, but it's going to get the climate control turned down. I think we're ready to go. So, sorry, that just took me up to 30 miles an hour, but that was a nice bit of noise then from that twin turbo V8. Of course, this being a BMW, there is going to be a bit of sound coming through the speakers. I have no idea what this gentleman is doing. Okay. There we go. But the first thing I'll mention is the seats. They are very comfortable. They hold a big bear like me in place. I was a little bit apprehensive, thinking that they'd be quite narrow and I would need a Recaro arse in order to fit into them. But no, these are proper bear chairs. These are sporty bear chairs, I'm going to say. I'm going to try and copyright that, but that is... here we go. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, that's brilliant. That is incredible. The noise and the way it just pulls you is immense. Now, the steering is really light. That's one of the other things I've just noticed. Now, I've got this, I believe, in normal mode. I've not pressed any of the M buttons on the steering wheel. I'm just literally in the normal mode. There we go. Wow. Acceleration is just incredible, and it goes through the gears really quickly. I mean, I'm not looking at the digital display, I'm just looking at the road ahead, but it just seems to just go through the gears, just rev really quickly. It's a lovely sensation. But now driving at 50 miles an hour, and it's nice and relaxed. Okay, there is a bit of tyre noise. That's one of the things that's coming through into the cabin now, a bit of tyre noise. But then again, have you seen the size of the tyres on this? So there's plenty of grip, there's plenty of rubber and tyre there to get you out of trouble and just allow you to plod on your journey under a heavy right foot. But no, this feels really lovely. I mean, there's no one behind me. Actually, there's one thing. I know I do my first impressions when I get going, but rear visibility is quite poor. It's a very narrow aperture because of how much that rear screen is raked. But so I'm just slowing down, 30 miles an hour. Let's put this into M mode. Is that in M mode? Here we go. Wow. In the heck, that is something. Oh dear, I'm loving that. So yeah, first impressions. Pretty brilliant of this X6M Competition. So what's the ride and handling like in this X6M? Well, it actually feels quite sprightly and quite light when you're driving about on normal A roads. I'm just bumbling about now. I've got the car, I believe, in normal mode. It's not in M mode, and yeah, it feels like a normal big SUV. As I said, the seats are really comfortable. I don't feel like I'm in a really sporty SUV. They're not like gripping my kidneys incredibly tight. Everything just feels nice and comfortable, but I'm held in the right way, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's just going over this A road now. I mean, it's not the worst A road in Buckinghamshire. I mean, there are definitely worse ones out there, but it's not the best. But it deals with the bumps and imperfections really well. Yes, some of the bigger potholes do boom and resonate into the cabin, but then again, we got these huge wheels. And as well, refinement in the X6M seems really decent. I mean, tyre roar is the only thing coming into the cabin. That's not something I'm surprised by because of the size of the tyres, but there's not much in the way of engine noise, there's not much in the way of wind noise. It's absolutely fine. I think you could do a long journey in the X6M and still come out the other end feeling nice and relaxed and not at all tired and worn down like you've been to a heavy track day or anything. So that is a nice, pleasant surprise with the X6M. But yeah, I think, you know, you could do a long journey. Yes, as I said, the tyre noise would come into the cabin, but I've got a Bowers & Wilkins stereo in here. Granted, I've not got enough time to play my tunes and drown out the tyre noise because I want to experience the competition, but you just know you'd have everything that you would need to make sure that you had a comfortable journey. And of course, this being a BMW, you can add lots of optional extras and that to the car. I have no idea what's been fitted to this particular X6M. I will have a description list of options down below. Hopefully BMW will get those over to me, but you can definitely tailor this X6M to be the perfect car for you. And if you're not a big fan of the kind of coupe shape to it, don't worry, you can go for an X5M Competition instead, and then that way you've got yourself an even more SUV looking SUV, but with none of the visibility issues that I've experienced in this X6M, and a bit more practicality as well. So you are covered there. And then next we've got handling. So yeah, as I said, it feels a bit sprightly, and the steering is nice and light here in the X6M, but I've not really come across any twisty turny bits of road as of yet. I will hopefully get there at some point, but it's yeah, it seems nice in my hands. The steering wheel, in typical BMW fashion, is nice and chunky, but it feels good to hold on to. The leather, the quality of the leather is absolutely lovely, and of course, this being a BMW, I have got a heated steering wheel, and I do love the fact that the button is on the steering wheel itself and not kind of hidden away. Okay, here we go. That gentleman was not looking at all. So what are my thoughts on this BMW X6M Competition? Well, for a first drive, I am hugely impressed. This has kind of shocked me a little bit, but at the same time has impressed me hugely. The way this thing just pulls me into the seat as under acceleration is incredible. I absolutely love it. Okay, the looks. It looks really aggressive. It looks pretty brash, which is kind of not really like an M car. They try to be, especially with the old M5s, quite subtle and, you know, understated, but now they are quite shouty. So they are in the same realms of Audis with their RS cars. I mean, the RS Q8, for example, looks very mean and very aggressive, and you can clearly tell that's a performance SUV. But then you kind of go onto the side of Mercedes, and they tend to kind of tone down their super performance versions of the cars they have for their mainstream cars. But the back end, I think, is the one part of the X6M I'm a little bit with, still getting used to. But as I said, if you're not a big fan of this, then just go for an X5M. You've got the same car essentially, just with a different rear end. So you know, you'll still be a winner, and you'll have all that performance and that engine under the bonnet. But for a first impression, oh god, yeah, it's bloody brilliant. I love it. So everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this first drive review of the BMW X6M Competition. As always, please don't forget to like, press that subscribe button and bell notifications icon to let you know when I, Dave the Auto Bear, bring out a new video. I'd probably not recommend asking me any questions about the X6M because I've not had it for that long, but if you want to, by all means. Of course, I'm on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and I always recommend you follow me on there for additional content, including live videos and still images of the cars and launches I go to, i.e. this BMW Media Day, for example. But guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Don't forget to stay safe, maintain your social distancing, wash your hands and wear a mask, and I will catch you all in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.